Hi there, this is Grant Kraft, the president of the Fargo Education Association. This is a recap from the June 21st negotiations meeting. You'll notice that our next meeting is Wednesday, June 28th. That's 5 p.m. at the Agassiz Cafeteria, and we'll be trying to come to agreement on salary and elementary workload, which are the only two topics remaining. I'll give you some details here in a moment, but we also want to encourage you to begin using your own voice because the board members have heard at length from your core negotiations team, and it's now time that they listen to teachers directly. And so we encourage you to reach out to individual board members. You can view their individual contact information at the website that you see posted there. That includes their phone numbers if you would like to give them a call. You can also email all of the board members all at once using the email address that you see on your screen as well. We encourage you to explain what it means to have protected prep time, how that impacts students, what are the benefits that occur in your daily lesson planning when you are able to have your prep time, and more importantly, what happens when that prep time is eroded. We also would encourage you to explain what happens in the time that is before and after school. What sorts of meetings do you already take on during that time? What other tasks are you able to use that time to complete? Those two things, prep time and the time before and after school, are things that the board has been putting into their proposal in a way that would really be regressive in the contract. And we have tried to share with them the perspective of educators as we have heard it from you, but it would be very much appropriate that the board hears directly from individual teachers at this point in the negotiations process. On Wednesday, June 21st, we did come to agreement on special education. The contract language says that in the 2023-2024 school year and the 2024-2025 school year, special education teachers who have the duty of case management will receive a $6,000 stipend each year. We also reached contract language that defines what an overload would look like for special education teachers. That would result in additional payment because you're taking on a portion of an unfilled position. And we also had a common verbal agreement, although it won't be contract language, that the board will ask Dr. Gandhi to implement a workload analysis model in order to determine staffing needs for special education positions. That then would tie directly to the overload calculation as well. On the topic of salary, the board came back to us and said they would be unable to do a TFFR calculation, pick up an additional percentage of TFFR, the teacher's fund for retirement. They were not willing to do that. And so it's looking like salary will be accomplished by a very traditional model, adding some amount of salary to the base salary, which then funnels through the entire matrix to provide an increase for all teachers. Steps and lanes will remain open. We know that for sure now, but we do not yet know the exact percentage of increase on the base. There was some discussion about numbers, but no official proposal were exchanged. On the topic of elementary, which has proven to be the most difficult topic, and the one that we really do need teachers to reach out to the board individually on, the board is proposing that PE and music sections become 50 minutes in length, which would make them the longest period section across the K-12 system in Fargo Public Schools. They also are proposing that we lengthen the list of things that can interrupt teachers' protected preparation and planning time and not provide any sort of compensation for that interruption. The board is also proposing that the time that is currently set aside to be non-student contact time before the start of the student contact day and at the end of the student contact day, the board's proposing that that protected time be simply struck from the contract and offering no replacement. The board has reiterated the past at least 3 meetings that they are issuing their best and final proposal. They have virtually not changed their proposal in any kind of substantive way for the better part of the month. I think it was late May that we got their very first proposal, and it has pretty much remained unchanged. The FEA, for our part, has asked that we meet in the middle. We have expressed that we are very much willing to negotiate, but when the board says that it's their best and final offer, that really has been cutting off communication on this topic. And so not a lot of discussion was really had on June 21st because the board stood by their case, their decision that this was the best and final offer. The FEA simply cannot accept the many ways in which it's regressive that the board is proposing. The FEA comes to solve problems. We try to advocate for our teachers, and we hear from teachers that this is a real problem that needs to be solved. The board, throughout discussion, has largely agreed that teachers need protected time, but then in their proposal, they don't do that. The FEA is very concerned about the board's proposal becoming a reality because it would be incredibly regressive to teachers and would significantly impact the quality of education that our students receive. And for that reason, the FEA has suggested that we would even be willing to mutually drop the topic, meaning that the contract would remain unchanged. The board could continue assigning recess duty, for example, and the payment on that would even go away. It's pretty reasonable to ask the board that, and yet the board has been unwilling to even drop the topic from discussion. The district leaders have been reading this book at the recommendation of Dr. Gandhi. It's called Trust and Inspire. And in the book, I want to read just a short portion from just the first two pages 2 and 3. I've only started reading it, but so far it makes me begin to question what sort of leadership style is the board asking district administrators to implement. The author says most of us understand that we want to move away from a type of leadership that he calls command and control. But he says we're less clear on what we want to move to. This book provides the answer. Trust and Inspire is the new way to lead. Its goal is to unleash people's talent and potential, to truly empower and inspire them, rather than to try to contain and control them. It's about trusting people to do the right thing and inspiring them to make meaningful contributions. Command and control is about getting things done, but it misses the potential power of the people who get those things done. Command and control is about being efficient with people, trying to motivate them instead of inspiring them. It's about self-interest and competing rather than serving and caring. And if all else fails, it's about barking out the orders so everyone does exactly what they're supposed to do, not because they want to, but because they have to. In short, it's about controlling people instead of unleashing their potential. And I wish that the board members would really think hard about their proposal and ask if it's a proposal that does trust and inspire, or if it's a proposal that does command and control. As I inspect their proposal, I believe that it's doing command and control. And what the FEA would like to see is more trust and more inspiration, being able to provide teachers the opportunity to do their jobs, to do it well, and to trust them with the time that they are given, to trust them and inspire them in order that they can help their students to the best that they see fit. All right, so that's the update for June 21st. Again, Wednesday, June 28th, the next meeting, we would really appreciate seeing members show up as we get down here towards the end of negotiations, trying to wrap things up in a way that can be mutually agreed to by the majority of the FEA, teachers, and by the board. Reach out to the board. Board members at fargo.k12.nd.us is their email address. And you can reach out to the FEA and to me at any point that you have any questions as well.